In Tableau, you can aggregate measures or dimensions, although it is more common to aggregate measures. Whenever you add a measure to your view, default aggregation is applied to that measure. The type of aggregation applied varies depending on the context of the view. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to change aggregate measures and different options when it comes to applying an aggregate measure to your data. But before you can change the aggregate measure, you need to know which data segments within your overall data set will work and which won't. In this case, we are going to be looking for the ones on the left side of the screen with a number sign next to it. This tells us we can adjust the aggregate measure for the data. As you can see, there are green and blue data segments with the number sign next to them. The blue ones are defined as discrete and the green ones are defined as continuous. This does not affect how you would change the aggregate measure. Before I start, I would like to mention that I'm using some sample Q12 data for this example. Step 1 of this is to go to the employee data table and searching for manager name. Step 2 would go to Q12 data table and looking for the Q1 data pill and pull it to the row cell at the top of the page. If we look at this example, we can see that manager names are in the columns, and then it is giving us the total responses for Q1 for each manager. So, since not all managers have the same amount of employees, the sum will not make sense in this example. What would make sense is average, so we are going to change the default of sum by going to the drop down arrow, looking for measure, and switching to average. Now we are able to get a better understanding of the average for each manager. So for example, Elijah Gray has an average of 3.45 for a response of the Q1 question. So now what if we want to see how many employees responded to Elijah? To do so, we are going to grab the Q1 data pill on the left side of the screen again and dragging it to the row cell at the top of the page. If we look again, we can see that the automatic aggregation applied is sum again. Like I said before, sum will not make sense in this example. What we want to do is see how many employees responded to each manager, so what we're going to do is change the aggregate to count. To do so, we are going to click the bottom arrow again, going down to measure and selecting count. Now we are able to see how many employees responded to each manager. So for example, Elijah had a count of 22 employees respond and had an average of 3.45. If we want to look at somebody else, for example, Alex Sweetwater, he had a count of 9 with an average of 4.44. Thank you so much for watching this Tableau video on how to change an aggregate measure, and please feel free to check out the rest of the videos on Vandal Analytics. Thank you.